Hey, how is it going again, Guardians? LVnative here with another Destiny video for you. Well, it is Tuesday, April 11th, time for another weekly reset. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and take a real quick look at
the feature comment of the day.
And today's comment comes to us from Magma Bruh, and he says, I should be feature comment of the day because my birthday is on the 11th. Hey, that's today. Happy birthday to you, man. And remember, guys, if you want to be the feature comment of the day, all you gotta do, drop a comment in this section below and smack that like button, and I just might pick yours to be the very next feature comment of the day. Alright, first up, the weekly featured raid this time is going to be King's Fall. Great thing about this one, guys, is we get 3 different challenge modes active during it, so a lot of loot and stuff for us to get. Make sure you get in there with your team and knock that out. I plan on running this a few times in the week on my stream, so hopefully I can see you guys there. For the Challenge of the Elders, this time around we have Grenade Kill Bonus, Specialist, and Solar Burn. The weekly Nightfall strike this time around is going to be the Abomination Heist on the Moon, one of my favorite ones to do. We have Epic, Berserk, Small Arms, Chaff, and Fresh Troops. For the Siva Crisis Heroic Strike playlist, we have Heroic, Small Arms, Fresh Troops, and Airborne. Small Arms on both the Nightfall and the Siva Crisis Heroic. And the weekly story playlist this time around has Heroic, Ironclad, and Airborne. And this time around it is going to be the Dark Champions mission playlists. And for the weekly PvP event, we have got Iron Banner Control. It's back. It's that time of the month, guys, to get in there and get some high competitive PvP for some awesome rewards. Let's go over the rewards that you can get this time around in Iron Banner. So if you put yourself through the meat grinder of Iron Banner, Lady Efforty has got some rewards for you. So starting things off, we are going to have very high level rolls of armor here. It's going to be similar regardless of your character. You are going to have near 100% stat rolls for arms. On the Hunters, we've got Intellect Discipline or Discipline Strength, both with really great rolls on here. Let's see, the Iron Cloak here, the Intellect Discipline, that is 100% stat roll. And that is a good one for Discipline and Strength. So you do have a 100% Intellect Discipline stat roll, and I'm sure your other characters are going to be similar. But most of you probably wanted to see what are the weapons. So first up we have the Proud Spire Shotgun. And let's go ahead and take a look at these perks, guys. This is not a bad shotgun, but it's definitely not going to be the one that you're roaming around with and, you know, grinding to get your hands on, as other ones out there are just going to be much better for you. But still a decent one. If you don't have it to add to your collection, wouldn't be a bad time to grind for it. And for the rank 5 weapon, we have got the Unbent Tree Bullet Hose version auto rifle. Now this is a very fantastic weapon. You guys should really try to get yourself a god roll of this. Let's see what they give. Counterbalance is always good. Hip fire. Okay, we don't have anything to really... We got perfect balance. Braced frame, not bad, guys. Okay, this is a pretty decent roll. You'll be able to have counterbalance with braced frame. Very decent roll, but I think you can do a little bit better. So definitely farm that Iron Banner this time around, guys, and you should be able to get some decent rolled weapons in that primary slot of yours. And for those of you Guardians who are still trying to get your hands on the Thorn, make sure you always, every single week, stop by and pick up all the weekly bounties from Shiro, as this is going to be your best chance to get that quest to drop for you. Alright, make sure you stop by and talk to Tyr Karn and see what artifact she has for us. This time around, we have got the Memory of Scory with a Discipline and Strength roll. Very decent indeed. We also have the Memory of Radagast with a Discipline and Strength roll. And we have the Memory of Gellion with a straight Strength roll for you. Memory of Gellion, easily one of my favorite artifacts, but I also have a soft spot for the Scories. So if you need either of those, make sure you go and pick those up this week. And the tower, guys, make sure you go talk to Lord Shaxx and pick up his not 1, but 2 weekly bounties that he has for us. This time around, he is going to have the Hunt for Glory, which will be in the Supremacy type playlist. And also, we have the Taking Control, which of course is done in the Control types. Make sure you do both of these to get a Nightfall tier reward for you. And for those Guardians still after that ever-elusive Icebreaker to drop for you every single week, I know it's a grind, but make sure you speak to Commander Savala and pick up, if anything, his Sunrise bounty, as this is going to be the only way you have a chance for that Icebreaker to drop for you in year 3. Alright guys, so those of you who are looking to pick up some really good old weapons that you can't really get a chance anymore, make sure you stop by and pick up the Crucible Quartermasters available bounties and get these done, as you'll be able to get old Trials of Osiris, old Iron Banner, and just some really good rolled weapons for you. So definitely, if you're on the hunt for better weapons, make sure you're picking these up each and every week. Alright, so since we're already at the Quartermaster here, let's go ahead and start here to take a look at all of the new vendor rolled weapons for you. I'm only going to stop at a couple of these guys right here. The Party Favor is halfway decent, as it actually has Rodeo and the Counterbalance. So it's very rare to find a weapon with both of those, so that's pretty interesting. The Hero Formula Scout Rifle is not too bad. The Palindrome has a very interesting roll to it. We've got Luck in the Chamber, Explosive Rounds, and Outlaw. So pretty interesting set of perks right there. The last one to really talk about is the Each New Day Fusion Rifle. Now this guy's got hidden hand and hand laid stock. This is going to be a laser beam with a very high impact. This would be a very decent fusion rifle for you guys to bring into PvP if you don't already have a good one yourself. As far as the rest of the rolls on the Crucible Quartermaster, they're okay, but there's, nothing that really jumps out at you there. If you guys so desire, you could pick up any of these, but I'm only going into the ones I think have the really good rolls. Up next, we have the new Monarchy list of rolled weapons with the Assembly 2, the Free Will 3, your Impeacher 5 sidearm, the Bad Counsel 4 shotgun, the Dispossession 7 sniper rifle, and the First Citizen 9 machine gun. This one has a decent roll on it, but really these are not great this time around. The rolls are only okay. If you feel the need to pick any of them up, go ahead, but honestly I think it's a pass for me on any of these weapons this time around. Over at the Vanguard Quartermaster, we only have two that really jumped out at me. The Continental Auto Rifle, pretty interesting roll here, as this has the Counterbalance and Rodeo, along with a little stability increase with Perfect Balance. So this has a pretty interesting set of rolls. It should stay pretty stable while you're firing this one, and I would definitely pick it up if you're in the mood for a good auto rifle. After the Continental, we have a Parthian Shot that has a pretty interesting roll as well. Again, we have a Perfect Balance and Counterbalance roll, but we can also go with Secret Round or even to Take a Knee. This is a good one. Parthian Shot, if you can get the stability up high enough, you have got a really dangerous PvP weapon where you can reliably two-burst people. So Counterbalance and Perfect Balance, while it's not the absolute perfect set, it's still a pretty good one. Any of the others here, the Angel's Advocate, the How Dare You hand cannon, all these rolls are not quite that great. The X-Astra's Fusion Rifle has a decent roll, but nothing to write home about. Teacup Tempest is average. The Akam's Razor, Seventh Sense, all these are halfway good, guys. If you really want to go and take a look at them, you can yourself, but there's nothing jumping out at me at this time, so I would just pass them and move on to something else. And for the Dead Orbit this week, there really is nothing that jumped out at me. I'll scroll through them to let you guys see. The Extremophile, at first I got a little excited when I saw Hidden Hand. Nothing else is really that good on it. The Keystone 01, again, I hope you got that a couple of weeks ago when I had an absolute god roll. Right now, nothing that great. The one that I always want to keep an eye out for is this Last Ditch 001 to see if it ever comes with a really good god roll, because if it does, it can rival the Matador. This time around, we're not that lucky though. The Bitter Edge 010 sniper rifle. It's that low impact. It's not my favorite, but for a low impact one, this actually has a halfway decent set of perks. And then last up, he has got the Unto Dust. Now, the sad thing about this is I don't care how good of a roll you give it, it's never going to be that great with its blast radius and velocity how it is naturally. So regardless, whatever roll they give you with the Unto Dust, I would probably never ever be able to recommend you picking it up for any reason. Alright, and finishing it up with the Future War Cult, there is one in particular I want to show you guys. So let's see here. We got the Whale hand cannon. Not bad, but it doesn't have anything to increase its range, and that's a forfeit on hand cannons right now if you don't have that. The Waltz has a very good roll. I will come back for that in a second. The Waiting Fusion Rifle, if you can get something to increase the stability, is very great, but this one doesn't have it, so just keep moving on. You got the Wounded Scout Rifle, which has a pretty decent roll, but nothing that we haven't seen out of some really good scouts. But the armor-piercing rounds with the Outlaw crowd control, this thing's going to put in some work, so if you need a good one, you could pick that one up as well. Wormwood Sidearm, decent roll. The Wormwood is always good, especially when you give it rangefinder, and anything gives just a little range increase with the armor piercing rounds. Yeah, I wish it was high caliber rounds, but other than that, this is a pretty decent roll for a Wormwood if for some reason you don't already have one. And then you've got the Warpath. Now this is a great rocket launcher if we can get some velocity increase to it. Sadly, we do not on this one, so it's going to be a pass. What is not a pass, however, is going to be the Waltz Pulse Rifle. Now, this is one of those very, very nice tier of pulse rifles, very popular right now in PvP, and with this roll, this one deserves some consideration. With counterbalance and perfect balance, granted, we don't have max stability with it, but we have a decent one with counterbalance, high caliber rounds as well. So perfect balance, counterbalance, and high caliber. It's going to be making people stagger a lot. It's going to be tough for them to return shots to you. This could be a very, very good hidden gem PvP weapon for you guys to try out. Alright, so there you have it, guys. That is all we're going to cover this week. It's a lot to go over, especially with Iron Banner here and all the new vendor reset rolls. It's a lot to cover, but I try to go through it as quick as I can for all you guys to give you all of the information instead of separating it into a bunch of separate videos. But I hope you liked it, enjoyed it, found it useful. Let me know in the comments section below, guys. What are you guys going to be playing this week? Are you going to be doing the raids? Are you grinding all the Iron Banner stuff out? There's a lot to do and a lot of stuff to get. You're going to have to prioritize. Myself, I think I'm going to put first priority on those raids, but after that, who knows? But I'd like to hear what you guys plan on doing this week. So that's gonna do it, guys. As always, this is LVnative. You guys are awesome, and I will see you in the next one.